Hey everyone, so I am back, and I must confess, I know I have been terrible with social media, but I can't seem to juggle between my attention between social media and spending my attention on the participants in the retreat. Before I get a little bit deeper into what was happening at the retreat, I want to share with you that this month it's been a wonderful opportunity to sit down with four inspiring speakers. Two of them were nominated, and two of them I really felt was the perfect timing as this month's guest. Let's start with the nominations. The first guest was Angela Peters. She was nominated by her husband Yurik, and when I asked him, I was like, "Why are you nominating your wife?" And he says, "Well, it's not just because she's my wife. It's because how she has progressed in her career and her calmness and her confidence. As I sat down with her, I understood how she balanced it with her family life as well. I understood where her husband was coming from because she did have this calmness inside of her. She made me realize that you don't need to hustle to be a leader. There are other ways of doing it, and the key is in how do you build relationships. Then I sat down with a dear friend of mine and a mentor, Lo. Now, Lo also has this calm presence around her. She spoke about something she's very passionate about, which is critical thinking, the art of reasoning. Now, if you know me, I can argue, but sometimes I need a little bit more of reasoning in my arguments. And Lo has always shared that with me. So I invited her on the podcast to share some tips and understanding why reasoning is so useful, especially in this day and age. And coming up this week, I had the joy to interview someone who I quite admired in my community. She has a wonderful demeanor and calmness also about her. She reminds me a lot of my mom. She did something last year that really shocked our community by separating from her partner. And when I asked her, I said, "Well, why did you nominate yourself?" And she goes, "Because." And I thought that was powerful in a way because if you are able to nominate yourself, you're standing up for you. You respect who you are. And that's why we spoke about dignity and her journey from childhood all the way to where she is today. Finally, I would love for you to meet Dan, another friend of mine. We met in the public speaking circuit. But I didn't want to talk to him about public speaking because we're always talking about how women should speak up. I wanted to ask him about his role as a father to two wonderful daughters. What have they brought into his life, and what has he done in their life? And again, I was struck by his calmness, by his act of just being himself and speaking about his role, and how his daughters showed him the art of vulnerability. I invite you to listen to all these four speakers. Now, about those retreats. I will be hosting more retreats in May, but first I want to share with you what Befriend Your Mind is. I had the privilege to be on stage with two amazing speakers, Peter Capitaine and Nick Van Adel. Both these speakers really shared their journey of resilience and coming out on the other side, not with just a positive attitude, but with a purposeful attitude. They have shared and inspired and motivated other communities to also look within themselves and feel strong enough to know that they can get through it. I sat for a while wondering, what have I got to bring to the table? And I talked about burnout and how important it is for us to get to know ourselves from within if we want to build relationships around us that doesn't make us feel so stressed out. How do we communicate with the world? And that was also very important for me during the retreat as I met all these beautiful individuals who had trusted me with their lives and with their minds, guiding them to understand themselves a little easier and better so that when they go back into the world, they have practical tools on how to deal with sensitive or challenging situations. See, those moments, challenging and sensitive situations, can very much provoke a lot of stress within us. Most of our relationship issues does cause stress, but we don't seem to share how to navigate through that. It's great to sit for mindfulness, great to do yoga, but the art of communicating in difficult times plays a big role on helping us in our mental health. And that's what I spoke about, and I want to share that with you. I am now also opening the doors to doing the consultations more online. I haven't been very vocal about it because I was feeling quite shy about it, believe it or not. But yes, I do online trainings and consultations as well. So if you find yourself always busy and you cannot seem to balance between your personal life, professional, if you find yourself saying I know and but and you feel like you feel bad for taking time off, contact me. I'm happy to work with you. Is that it for this month? Well, there are other stuff coming up. And if you want to get to know more about Befriend Your Mind, please follow me on my newsletter or in social media. And that way you'll get to stay updated with what's happening. There's also a paid subscription newsletter where I share one webinar or one short workshop or one practical tool that you can take into your life. The key is taking a smaller tool is better than taking a bigger tool or a bigger technique because you don't want to feel overwhelmed when you're trying to change your habits from within. So if you want something every month that's going to help you on your journey so that you can manage your stress throughout the year, then be sure to contact me or join my paid newsletter. That's it for now. Take care.